Okay, welcome. This is going to be our live stream that we have, and we're going to talk a little bit about business certifications. I am Janet Carruthers. We are BizCentral USA. We are women, minority, veteran owned, and our whole staff is are made up of diverse individual small businesses. And we really, our main focus is to help your business grow. And there's a lot of information, so I'd like to just kind of go over some of this information so you can get a better idea. But if at any time you want to make an appointment with us, you can give us a call at the phone number that's listed right here, and or just select comprehensive consultation and just fill out this information below. Your name, the kind of the usual things: name, business name, email, phone. If you don't have a business yet, then just go ahead and put haven't started yet or something, and we're going to help you. These are all the different certifications that are available for you. We also will help you with business plans. We're going to help you with bid proposals. So there's actually going to be quite a bit that is going to be available for you. And then you can go ahead and put more information. Our phone number is in here. And we are located in the Washington, D.C. metro area. I have a lot of these certifications that you might be going for. And so I can definitely tell you that I've been there and understand some of the things that you're going to have to go through. So today we're going to kind of talk about business certifications and also talk about BizCentral as a whole. The company was started around 2004, and what happened was they were at that time they were doing both profit and non-profit types of business, and it split in 2021, whereas it's the profit side, and then there is the non-profit side. And so it has really evolved, and hopefully I can answer some of the questions that we usually get throughout this process. And don't worry, we're going to take plenty of breaks to go over this, and so you can get some water. I have my handy dandy coffee. It says get it done. And we'll go over some of the tips for certifications and see if it's a good fit for you. A lot of people think that sometimes the certifications is a magic bullet, but it's kind of like learning a new language. The certifications are basically for set-aside contracts that are going to be available, but I think that a lot of people don't realize that the certification part is just the first step, and there's a whole lot of other things that come with that. But we're going to kind of go over those things, take some information in, and you can fast forward some stuff if you already know this. And you could go to our YouTube channel. We do have a ton of information. Here are all of our videos. We do a lot of information on there, and it's really to help you grow your business, because business certifications actually help you get set-aside contracts. So let's dive in. We're going to go to our homepage, and it helps you to be able to understand what is going on. There are federal, state, corporate certifications. We have a little checklist right here, and then we also have some frequently asked questions that we normally have. If you're just kind of getting started into certifications, it's important to know that there are certifications for all small businesses. And small businesses are determined by the SBA, the size. So you would basically go to search in Google is probably the easiest one, SBA. Let's go with SBA Small Business Size Standards. So they do have a size standards tool, and you can go ahead and fill out, very simple, an NICS code. What is that? So an NICS code is a code that basically defines what your business does. It's going to be whatever that primary focus is going to be, and all your certifications are going to be based on that. I know that the SBA points out to the census.gov website, but quite honestly, I just don't like that website. It's very difficult to use, and I'll kind of show you what it looks like. You can see it's it's not very user friendly, typical government website. So what I use is NICS.com. I love this website. It's an NICS association. You can go right here to NICS search, and you can say, hey, I'm in construction. Let's say I've already been doing that. I'm in construction. And then you can go and read through each one of these numbers. Are you in commercial, institutional, building construction? What are you in? And I think that this really goes ahead and helps. I just think it's a lot easier. Or maybe you're in consulting. And so what kind of consulting are you in? You know, there's scientific and technical consulting. There's all different kinds of consulting that are inside of here. You know, the support activities for animal production. And all you need to do is, let's go to this first one. And then what you will see is the type of companies that are doing this. You can actually click on these to find out. Let's look at one of these. I don't even know. So you can find out more about what they do. And does your company kind of match that? And they also give you some great illustrative examples right here. Okay, economic consulting, safety, and all these codes that are there. Just kind of a word of note, most of the time you can find your NICS code on your tax return. However, I am a CPA, and I would tell you from past experience and working in tax seasons, sometimes CPAs are not really sure what you do. And it's really going to be important to look at your business tax return, or if you're a sole proprietor, maybe your Schedule C, and look at that number. That number is very important. That NICS code is going to make the determination of a lot of your certifications. So it's really important to know what your NICS code is going to be. So let's go back to our website. We're going to kind of close out some of these thousands of different windows. I don't know about you, but sometimes I have like 100 different ones that are to kind of open up on there. So federal certifications, state certifications, corporate certifications, and we're going to go ahead and do that. Sometimes if you're just trying to learn about certifications, the easiest way to do it is to go to our website, and our listing is right here at bizcentralusa.com. I would recommend you go to this little button. It's going to be at the top, and you have to scroll down a little bit. And you want to click right here and go through these questions. So majority ownership, you have to be at least 51% or more control, management, and ownership of the company. A lot of people come up to me and they say, well, I have 51% of the company. I'm not really involved in the day-to-day stuff. That's not going to work. You got to be the day-to-day operations of the company. And then you would go, let's say, so I'm a woman, I am a veteran, and I am a minority. So I'm going to click those. Is your personal net worth less than $850,000, not including your primary residence? I'm going to go ahead and put yes. And then based on what I answered, there's going to be all of these different certifications where you can go ahead and click on them, and it will come up to the certification so you can figure out what you want to do. And we're going to kind of go through these today of the different things that are going to be available to you. So if we go back here, and what I would do actually is I would look at all of these certifications. Okay, I qualify for the Women Business Enterprise, and which is going to be a corporate and a state certification. I'm going to qualify for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 different certifications. SB 8A, I'm going to be qualifying for the SBE, the Veteran-Owned Small Business. I may qualify for the Service Disabled Veteran which I already actually have. So let's go back. Let's go back to the home page. That is one way to figure out, okay, what do you qualify for? And write them down, and you can do some more research on that. So we're going to kind of go over each one of these types of certifications. There's over 400 different certifications nationwide, and that's quite a bit. And so what I would recommend that you do is go through that, what certifications do I qualify for? And take a moment right now, so you can go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and pause, and we'll take 15 minutes so that you can go and see what you qualify for. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. I'm going to start the timer now, and we're going to go. Okay, it looks like hopefully that you had an opportunity to go through the website and find out exactly what you qualify for. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start out with federal certifications. So federal certifications, if you are in that market, and you do something and you heard from a friend or somebody that, wow, you know, if you've got these huge contracts available, that is going to be like a game changer. And I agree. I actually retired from the Small Business Administration. It's a great organization that really supports small businesses. And federal contracting can be like a great way to grow your business. There are several certifications that you can go to, but the first thing, if you are even thinking about the possibility of getting into federal contracting, the very first thing you need to do is get a sam.gov registration. So I'm going to show you that right away. The sam.gov system is probably one of the most, oops, I didn't spell it right, the most challenging of all systems in the government. It is very frustrating for a lot of my clients at BizCentral USA, and not just my clients. The sam.gov system is how you get on the federal registration. There are companies that will help you. We can help you as well. The sam.gov registration, you can see that it is going to be, it is a government website. Up here they always post any kind of technical things that are going on. So I'm just actually going to get out of that. So it's going to show you, they have done a better job, but it is not user friendly. And sometimes the support staff can be a bit challenging. And so to get assistance, they are not a private company, so they are going to have only like government hours to assist you. But on sam.gov, there are, it's an official U.S. system, and you can see official side of the United States government. You don't have to pay anybody to register your company on sam.gov. There are a lot of videos, and you can actually subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we have some videos on how to do this as well. But you don't need our YouTube channel because there is enough information on sam.gov. But I know that as an entrepreneur in a small business, you're probably just as busy as I am. And it's kind of funny that, you know, I give a lot of presentations and speaking engagements, and one of the things that most entrepreneurs and small businesses don't have is time. And so I totally get it, where it's easier just to get frustrated with some of this information because it's just one more thing you have to learn. But sam.gov can be very useful for your business. And so it does have contract opportunities. We're going to kind of look at that right here. And so this is a good thing to go ahead and look at. Let's say that you sell, we'll do light bulbs. So are there any contracts out there for light bulbs? And voila, there is one. There are LED light bulbs that looks like the Department of Army is trying to sell, Department of Defense, and all you have to do is just kind of click on here, and you'll be able to find out more. Looks like this is going to be, where's it located at? Fort Stewart, Georgia. So that's a place of performance. And what you need to do is really understand this whole process. And it's not very user-friendly, so you are going to have to look at these different ways to filter the information. So I've just checked out light bulbs, but you can see some of these have been just published. Some of them are updated solicitations. Some of them are going to be expired. April 20s, you know, here's one that's April 27th, and then if you go further down here, some of these are like 2017. Sources saw it, like, what's going on with that? And so what's really going to be important for you is to make sure that you understand this website. And so what I would recommend is, let's go back here again. We're at home, and we went to contract opportunities. What they don't tell you is that, first of all, you need to have an account once you sign in. And this is how you sign in to get started. And if you go down, every single page is going to have a little video, always in the right-hand corner. So you can go ahead and watch this video about how to do an advanced search of contract opportunities. Pretty short video, but there are always the directions on how to use sam.gov on the bottom. And generally, most of the pages are going to have this video on the right-hand side. Recently, there is a lot of information about Buy America Act. And the Buy America Act is listed right here, and you can learn all about it and the terms of use and all of that information. So let's go back here. Every single page on these categories is going to have these videos. They're going to have how do you sign up for a login.gov account, how do you search for this information. I want to know about the interested vendors. I want to go ahead and learn about all these different things. And you can see this is kind of like the little sign of how to look at, it's a video that's going to be available. And here's a video, how to search contract opportunities by NICS, which you now are very familiar with because we just learned that. And so this is going to be a very useful knowledge base. And this is, there's also knowledge base where they have all of these videos and questions that are already other people that have come before, like, you know, how can I do this? How can I view my UEI, unique entity ID? So we're gonna kind of go over that shortly. So next up, if you go back to this home button, is contract data. They have wage determinations. They have federal hierarchy, like you heard of, let's find out, Secret Service. Where does the Secret Service, I have heard about a contract that is going to be available. Where does the Secret Service fit in the government agencies? So it'll come out here, the Secret Service falls under Homeland Security, the Department of Homeland Security, DHS. And so it explains where exactly it is. It's a sub-tier. So you can just use that as part of your, knowledge base. Again, I know all of us don't have time. We just don't. And so this allows you just the basics information, but really getting into the federal contracting space is going to be the bigger picture. Assistance, listings, entity information. Most of you, when you're going to register for a sam.gov account, and you hear this all the time, it used to be that they were looking for a DUNS. It's now a UEI, unique entity ID number. And so what you would do is, if you have any questions, again, here's the right-hand side that I just brought down. You go into the page, and then here's all the information. Now, setting up a sam.gov account is not only going to help you from a federal registration point of view, but some states actually require you to have a sam.gov account before you get your state certifications. And there are, I believe Connecticut is one of them, where you must have a active sam.gov account in order to get your certification in the state. And so this information right here is how you do it. How do I get a user account? What's the difference between signing up and registering? And what if I already have a login.gov account? And once all of this information is going to be on here. And maybe, and then another thing that you might want to go ahead and do is when you go to sam.gov is just get started. And these are the processes that you're going to go ahead and need. So I don't want to spend too much time on sam.gov because there's a lot of videos that are available on creating your sam.gov account. It is not user-friendly for a website. There's so much information on here. But if you get stuck and you've created your account, here is the customer service information. Just like any other website, generally the customer service information is going to be at the bottom of any website, and here it is. Here's the Federal Service Desk, FSD. This is generally who you're going to get most of your emails from when you create a SAM.gov account and if you're having problems. Here are their hours, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They have a live chat and they have a live call. Personally, I like the live chat. It seems like it works a little bit faster and I can be working on something and getting ready for the call. It's kind of like calling another government agency. You are basically on hold for a little while. I've had clients that have been on hold for an hour and a half, and then they got disconnected or they were told they couldn't be helped. And so another thing that you can do is also go to your Procurement Technical Assistance Center, or PTAC. Again, here is some other information that's below. Before we go on to more certifications, I just also want to bring out, this is grants.gov. And grants.gov is a federal database, federal information. You do not have to be certified in order to get a grant. And so that's one of the questions that we get asked a lot. Grants.gov does have federal grants that are available for small businesses, nonprofits. There's a lot of information in grants.gov, but it does not require you to have a certification. Just want to make that clear. That's actually one of the questions we usually get. So let's go back here. Let's close out my many different windows so I can make sure that I can address some things. So what are federal certifications? Federal certifications are the SBA 8A program, which a lot of people have heard about. The SBA 8A program is a fantastic program, and we're going to talk about each one of these a little bit. The SBA 8A is going to be, we're going to click on that one, and you can go to our website at BizCentral USA. Most people have heard about the SBA 8A, and they hear about it and they think, oh, it's going to be super easy. It is a 9-year program, and it is the hardest certification to get in the nation. The SBA 8A is run by the Small Business Administration. It does provide for mentorship opportunities. It does provide a lot of information. However, it is a challenging one to get. There are some strict guidelines, and you may not be ready for it yet. We have on our website, how does the application process work? And what are some of the benefits? It is going to give you more opportunities, and there's going to give you better pricing. It allows for different partnerships like mentor-protege programs, and it is really a great certification to have. Next, on federal certifications is a very popular one, which is DBE. The Disadvantaged Business Enterprise is great for both federal. It's actually run under the direct authority of the Department of Transportation, DOT. But DOT doesn't actually give out the certification. They actually push it down to the states, and they say, hey, state, if we're going to give you money, DOT money, and to fix the roads and everything else, but in order for you to do that, you're going to have to manage that program. So every single state actually runs the DBE program below. And here are the criteria for the DBE. The SBA 8A does require that you are a U.S. citizen. However, the DBE, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, you can be a U.S. citizen, or you can also be a U.S. citizen, or you can be a legal permanent resident. And we're getting questions that are coming in, so I want to make sure that I can be able to answer some of the questions that are coming in. Hold on for a second. Next, the other requirements are that go down here, we're going to go down here. The requirements are it must be at least 51% owned by a, in the information that's over there, Asian, Hispanic, African American, Native American, or Native Hawaiian. And that doesn't mean just owning. It is actually going to require that you are managing and controlling the day-to-day activities involved. The next one is the ACDBE, and the ACDBE is the information that requires that most airports are going to require. Those are going to be airport concession disadvantaged business enterprise. For both the ACDBE and the DBE, they both have a requirement that you must have personal net worth of less than 1.32 million. And that's personal net worth, doesn't have anything to do with your business. If you are interested, each month we do have a program I have a program that you can register for. We talk about the DBE and the ACDBE every single month. And we have a class that's free and it's on demand, and the different kinds of secrets that are going to be there. And you can visit it at bizcentralusa.com. So going back to the ACDBE, this is going to be for like airport information. This is going to be information that is going to be so that you can sell something at an airport. You've seen those kiosks that are there. That's what that is going to be. Next, GSA. The GSA schedule is a great application to have and to get on the GSA. You can learn more about the GSA services that we provide inside of our underneath federal certifications. Next, women-owned small business and economically disadvantaged woman-owned small business. And that one actually is certified by the SBA. And this basically talks about, the certifications that are available for women-owned businesses. And economically disadvantaged, easy for me to say, WOSB, is going to be the certification that is for, you have to have personal net worth less than $850,000. Personal net worth doesn't include your business. And generally, it doesn't include your primary home. And next, there is the hub zone. Apologize, people are asking lots of questions, so we're going to cover some of those things. The hub zone is generally going to be for historically underutilized business. There is a map that you can click on here, and you can put your address in. And you can see over here, these are the red areas of where they're considered to be the hub zone, and you just put your address in here, and you can see all of the, it's generally going to be the pink, is where the hub zone is at. Let's go back to our area. Okay, and so you can learn more about the hub zone. There is no minority status criteria for the hub zone certification, and there's no either gender part of it. It is actually where your business is at and located. So it's a location specific certification. So it has nothing to do with your race, ethnicity, or gender. Okay, next we are going to talk about veterans. Us veterans have an opportunity. It used to be part of the VA, and now it is governed by this SBA. So it's a new certification that is available, and there are several ways to get it. You do have to have a SAM.gov account. VOSB is Veteran-Owned Small Business, and SDVOSB, which I am certified in, is Service Disabled Veteran-Owned Small Business. And what that allows is for you to have that certification so that you can compete for those contracts. So for all of these certifications, the main thing that you will need is making sure that you are at least 51% owned. That's kind of like the magic number in order to get certified in a lot of these different certifications. And the federal, there are a lot of contracts that are going to be available, and the information that is out there is going to be very beneficial for you for getting those contracts. And we're going to take a quick break, and I'm going to bring up, because I have to go ahead and put in my password and all that kind of stuff, and I'll show you some of the federal contracts that are available, so that you can kind of get an idea whether a federal certification is going to be with you. But you definitely want a federal certification if you'd like to do the business with the federal government, and you want to go ahead and or if you have a connection with the federal government, or your industry is really federal government related. So we're going to take we're going to put the timer on so I can go ahead and figure out, sign in so you can't see, and we will be right back. We are back. I'm going to stop this, reset it for the next time we have a break. I wanted to share with you, if you are in the market of learning more about whether the federal government is going to be good for you, one of the best places that you can go is the General Services Administration. The SBA does have some really great information about, government contracting, but it's kind of the basic level. If you've read the stuff that's in the SBA, it's going to be very basic. But I would recommend this website, and hopefully you can see it. I'll bring it down a little bit. It's called gsa.gov, sell to government. So I'm going to kind of put that, I'll put the links in there also, but gsa.gov slash sell dash to dash government. And so what this does is that it's going to give you, okay, how do I sell to the government? And what I love about this is I love check blocks, and this will give you learn about government contracting, determine if this is really going to be about for you. Sorry, I'm on two different screens, so it looks like I'm trying to manage all this. So understand different ways to sell to the government. How do you access contract opportunities? Is there stuff available? $39 billion annually. That's a lot of money. Some of these criteria, like been in business 2 years, they are talking about GSA contracts. That is not required for other certifications. They are talking more about their own, the GSA. But this does have some great information in order for you to learn about it, and then competing for a contract manager contract. It is just a great way to go ahead and learn more about federal contracting. And if you're like, wow, this is just so much information, we always have a free consultation. It's 20 minutes, so we can kind of find out the basics of your business, and then we can just charge ahead on what we need to do to help you succeed. That's what we want to do. And so let's go back here. We're gonna take another short break, and then we're gonna dive in to the next group of certifications, which are gonna be state certifications. So I'm gonna prep that up, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. And so what we're going to do now is talk about state certifications. And state certifications, there's some great opportunities just within the state. One kind of caveat, I mean, these state certifications are great, but what I hear from our clients is it's really hard to find the right opportunities that are available. Even though the DBE, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, pretty much changed the landscape for state certifications, and there's so much opportunity there for the infrastructure bill. The problem is trying to find them has been one of the challenges. You cannot go to sam.gov to find state contracts. Generally, I recommend that you subscribe to a market intelligence database. But if you can't find those still, BizCentral USA does offer that as a service. So we can help you with that part. So let's talk about state certifications. We talked about the disadvantaged business enterprise when we were talking about federal. You may recall that it is a federal certification mandated by the Department of Transportation, but they push it down to the state. And that information is very beneficial to know that, it is a state certification and anything that has to do with transportation. So let's talk about what that means. Buses, roads, ports, trains, services, rest stops, all those fall under the Department of Transportation. And you would be using those for those certifications for that information. Now, there's also the minority business enterprise. That can be either a state or it can also be a corporate certification. One of the questions that I get asked a lot is, what is considered to be a minority? Well, you have to have at least 25% of the minority status. And if you go into, you can look this up under our frequently asked questions, or you can go right here under the minority business enterprise and select, and let's find out what is a minority. So you can go ahead and read this information, look at your country, there's Asian Indian and Asian Pacific, Hispanic, there is Native American and Native Hawaiian. So we're going to go back to the state information and talk a little bit about a minority business enterprise. So a MBE is either the state or it's going to be a corporate certification. We're going to talk about corporate certifications after we talk about the states. And so it must be, again, at least 51% owned by a minority. Really going to be an important thing to deal with, to find out. And again, we do have a free consultation once you qualify for these things. And we go through a process to really make sure that you're going to qualify. The good thing about an MBE is a minority business enterprise is also going to give you access to state contracts, but also corporate contracts as well. It all really is going to be dependent upon what does the company that you're going to be doing business with, or what does the state want from you. So it's all going to be dependent on that. When somebody says, hey, if you had a MBE, we could give you more work. The question you need to ask is one more step further is saying, which one? Because as I mentioned earlier, there are over 400 different certifications nationwide. And so it's really going to be important for you to ask. Next, the state, some states have a women business enterprise. And a women business enterprise for the state is going to give you, just like the minority MBE, it's going to give you grants for women. It's going to sometimes have funding, different programs for women, and what you should do is get certified there, and it must be owned 51% by a woman who's running the day-to-day operations of the business. Woman or women. Next up, what we're going to talk about is another state certification. It's called what we commonly refer to as MEBI-WEBI. And you've probably heard that MEBI-WEBI is, we don't actually have a link for that because it's kind of a combination of women and minority. So I am a MEBI-WEBI, minority woman-owned business. And some states have that as a separate certification that you can get. And some states, they don't have an MBE or a WBE. They're like, hey, we don't want to deal with all these acronyms. I totally get it. I deal with acronyms all day. What they have is a DBE, and they say, hey, we're going to accept the DBE application. And what that is, just so you know, is that it is going to be a certification that is going to be available for, instead of the MBE or the WBE. However, the DBE, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, is transferable to another state. So if you decide that I'm in the DC metro area, and if I wanted to put my DBE certification in another state, first of all, the first thing I need to do is I have to have a presence there. That's going to be super important. And then next, I have to transfer my DBE certification over there. And they're going to ask for the same basic qualifications, but that's going to be important. In some situations, those individuals with disabilities, there is a certification called DOBE. And while this isn't recognized in every single state, a lot of states are actually recognizing this certification. And a lot of corporate and states are recognizing this certification in order for to be including in the government and the state government contracts, and so it becomes a requirement. Currently, on our website, we do list a couple of places that normally have it now, but it's ever increasing. And this is a very specific certification that will require someone to really dig down. We would have to get some doctor's notes and to prove this as well. Next up, we have the small business enterprise. The small business enterprise is generally not going to be available from a state perspective, and unless it's tied to the disadvantaged business enterprise. Some states do have an SBE, and even some local, like city and villages in different places, have that as well. The SBE is generally going to be non-gender, non-minority, and it is available for anybody that is a small business. In some states, there is a income limit. Washington State is one of them. As you can be an SBE, but you still need to be a small business, and there's some other criteria that is going to be on there. It's still non-gender and non-minority status or non-veteran, but you still need to be, there are certain criteria. Connecticut is another one. We talked about Connecticut earlier. Connecticut SBE program does require that you are SAM.gov registration. Remember, that's the federal certification that you have to go through. Next up is, again, some states have a veteran-owned small business. California does a really good job about this. About being a veteran-owned business. The state of Virginia is another great state that has veteran-owned businesses, and they support them. There are some states that are much better than others in supporting veteran-owned businesses. And they will give you a certification under that as well. One of the things you can do is for our website, you can go to Home. And then I would recommend every single state. It's going to be a little bit different. You go to the state certifications, and if you click on this button right here to find your specific state information, and we have a list of all the different states of what you will be able to find. Let's say we're in Ohio, and here are the listings of all the Ohio certifications. They recognize all of these. And you can go ahead and learn a little bit more. Okay, State of Ohio has the EDGE certification. There's an additional one that's not listed. And we talk about, okay, and what the specific requirements are going to be for this EDGE certification. And you can click on these different ones to find out more. So they're always, if you're an Ohio resident, you're going to be able to qualify for some of these, as well as going ahead and finding out the how to do that. Next up, you can go ahead and look at these states. I am actually in the DC metro area and in Virginia. So here in Virginia, we have, the typical federal ones that are available to me. And Virginia has a program like some states do, where they have a combined effort of multiple certifications, of not only getting the DBE, but if you get the DBE here in Virginia, you also get the SWAM, Small Women and Minority Certification. And there's also a veteran one that is here in Virginia as well. And you can learn more information about each one of these states by going to the different states. And also, if you are planning to move your company and have a presence, because there's a business opportunity there, and you will have that capability to go each one of these states. So again, the state certifications are very important with going and looking on all of this information, and you could find out more on your specific state right here. So we're now going to pause, and we're going to go into corporate certifications next. We're going to take a little break, but we will be back before the 15-minute timer so that we can go over corporations. Well, welcome back. So what we're going to do next is look at corporate certifications. And corporate certifications there's three of them. There is the WBE, and we like to do that through the WBENC and support them. The WBNC is a nonprofit organization, and they are dedicated to helping women-owned businesses. And they really do look at these applications very thoroughly, and they certify us. And there are actually so many different classes that are available, connections and networking. It's a fabulous organization. I really encourage you that if you want to get into getting corporate contracts as a woman-owned business, this would be a perfect, and you are a woman, of course, at least 51% owned. This is a great certification to have. Additionally, there is the MBE, and this is with the National Minority Supplier Development Council. They are also a nonprofit organization, and they are fabulous about helping minority-owned businesses be able to advance and grow their business. You must be at least 51% owned by a minority group, which we talked about that before, and you've got to be a U.S. citizen. So in this particular certification, you cannot be a legal permanent resident. You must be a U.S. citizen, either naturalization or by birth. And then there is LGBTE certification with the National LGBT Chamber of Commerce. Another great certification, nonprofit, and they help LGBT-owned organizations and businesses. The key thing, again, is that it must be managed, controlled, and owned by a member of LGBT community, and also by they must be majority owned. And these organizations, I just want to cover some of these. We're going to cover the WBENC and go to their website. They just so that you can see some of the outstanding opportunities that are going to be available. Here is the website for women business owners, and you can see, wow, we've got different programs, different grant programs that are available. Let's look at the events that they have. They recently had a conference that was available. There are sponsorship opportunities. You can see the different programs. They have the Lift Financial Excellence. They have networking and engagement, pitch opportunities, and so much more. Absolutely so much more. And different programs, there are speaking opportunities where you can present your company to become a speaker and talk about diversity or talk about whatever your program is about. As you can see, who we are, they have around the whole country. Meet the WBNC team. And so a lot of people come to me and they say, hey, but I have to pay when I do this application, I have to pay a non-refundable application fee. And it's a non-profit organization, but your fee is providing all of this. It's kind of like your annual dues to be a part of an association of an organization that supports women-owned businesses. This describes, okay, what do you do? They do the WBENC certification. There's different opportunities, there's resources, discounts that are available. Here are their partners. And there are regional locations across the U.S. and you can go here and figure out where it is. There is Women Impacting Public Policy. There's also a great organization once you're part of a WBNC for a global network called We Connect International. And here are the other organizations that are affinity partners, and it is fabulous for that. Here's the international part that we just looked at. Next, we'll go back here about WBNC. They've got awards, they've got career, they've got all this information that's there. The certification part of it is how we look at, they have information there. The programs that they have, there's some scholarships and grants. Right now they have these 3 that are listed. There are Collegiate Women of Color Business Accelerator and Grant Program. There is the Collegiate Accelerator, the Chemical Industry Accelerator. So there are some that are there. Looks like they have a Women of Color Incubator at Florida A&M and Howard, and the Dorothy B. Scholarships. And so there are a lot of great programs, events. The 2023 conference was in Nashville, Tennessee. Unfortunately, I did not get to attend, but it is a great organization. The next one I would recommend is the NMSDC. And the NMSDC is, I think I misspell it. I'm saying it and I'm typing it there we go. And I typed it again wrong. Sorry about that. nmsdc.org. There we go. Oh goodness, I'm on when I'm typing, it's kind of like when you're writing on a board and people are like expecting you to make sure that it's right, and that you mess up when you're trying to write something. So the NMSDC is the National Minority Supplier Development Council, another great organization that will support minority-owned businesses. This is the information. They are also a nationwide organization. You can see their global reach is right here, and the national information. They talk about, they are the ones that actually do corporate certifications. And the reason why I wanted to go ahead and bring that up, if you go to our YouTube channel, we have different organizations like Supplier Diversity Database, where Home Depot and Lowe's, you can see I'm giving this little presentation right here. There's construction supplier diversity databases. There are supplier diversity databases for GMC, JP Morgan, Starbucks. There is supplier diversity to register for different companies here, and veteran-owned business. So there's a lot of information that's available for you as a small business, and it's all on our YouTube channel. And so let's go back over to the NMSDC. You can see that there are companies that support the organization. We're going to look over here. They also have events and programs. And here's their list for their programs. Let's take a look. And they have a matchmaker service. And so once you get and become certified, you are going to have access to direct procurement officers and be able to work together and team up together. It's just another great opportunity for networking. Here is their NMSDC conference that is coming up. I think it's coming up. Yep. Oh, no, this one is the old one. So I think that they just haven't changed their website, because this actually says 2022. So this is the old one. This is for the program that was for 22. So I'm sure that they haven't just posted their 23 one anymore. But they have some other programs. For example, Chase for business advancing Black entrepreneurs. There are executive programs that are available. And as you can see, there's other different kind of programs that they have. Foster School of Business, which is at the University of Washington, and just different opportunities once you are a certified MBE. For LGBT, Chamber of Commerce, I'm in the Washington, D.C. area, so this is going to be the local chamber that's going to be available, but this is the National LGBT Chamber of Commerce. And this is a certification. It is available. This is one of the ones that we do, and we go ahead and help our communities and those who are managing and day-to-day operations and at least 51% open, managed by LGBTE. And this is another one of the certifications that can be done. So corporate certifications are very important. Now we're going to take a quick break again, and we will be talking about business certification documents. Okay, we're back for this shorter break. The next thing that we're going to talk about is the business certification document checklist. And there are a lot of documents that are going to be required of you when you go through the certification process. And they are included on our website under business certifications, and then it's going to be under business certification document checklist. And so what we're going to do is go through some of these and where people usually have problems. Resumes. It's going to be really super important. If you're self-employed, you know that you probably haven't done a resume for a little while, and that's okay. But you're going to have to do it. And you do have to have a resume. You do have to have evidence of U.S. citizenship. You're going to have some documents that are going to be proving that you are economically disadvantaged from a financial point of view. We're going to be able to help BizCentral USA. This is what we do every single day. Well, not on weekends, of course. And then we're going to have some financial statements from you, tax returns, loan agreements, real estate information, debt instruments like loans and everything else like that. Payroll, it's going to be super important to have those payroll things, W-2s, 1099s, equipment lists. It's kind of overwhelming. But we're here to go ahead and help you through this entire process. If you have trust agreements, those would have to be disclosed. You would have to have lists of information of different invoices and so forth. And so there is quite a bit of information. If you do have vehicles, you're going to need VIN numbers, insurance. But here's the thing about all these certifications, and I tell this to a lot of clients, and a lot of clients are, when it looks like it's overwhelming. At BizCentral USA, we're going to help you go through all of this stuff. The corporation part, if you are a corporation, you are going to have all of these documents that are listed below. Certificate of good standing, minutes, resolutions, incorporation, shareholders, first organizational meetings. There's just quite a bit. If you are a LLC, you're going to have some other documents that are going to be necessary. And I would go through this list to figure out exactly what you're going to need. Again, on the bottom of our website, we do have different things that are going to be useful. SAM registration. We have the Minority Business MBDA program, Minority Business Development Agency, federal grants. We talked about grants before at grants.gov. And there's going to be a lot of other information that is there. Next up, there are some frequently asked questions, and I've been getting some questions as we've been going through this presentation, and so I'm here to try to answer some of those for you. We'll do that after our next break. So what is a business certification? It is going to be for federal and state contracts or private sector contracts. So what are the basic qualifications for these certifications? And if you click on these little minus sign, you'll be able to read some of these things. I'm not going to read them to you. And one of the questions we do get quite often is, how long do I have to be in business? Is there a minimum income? I just started my business. Yeah, you can, on some of these certifications, they do allow you to be a startup, and we offer you a free consultation to make sure that you qualify for these certifications. I will tell you though, if you just started it a couple weeks ago, might want to make sure that you have everything established. We can help you. We do have a pre-certification program. So if you've been working in a W-2 job and you already know what kind of company that you're going to go ahead and start, we can go ahead and help you with this. So what is an NICS code? We talked about that before in the previous one of the first when we started, and this NICS code is so important. I cannot stress that enough. And as you go through this website, there's going to be other questions that you might ask. What is a DBE certification? What are the eligibility requirements for the DBE? What is considered to be socially and economically disadvantaged, and how long does it take? Most of these certifications are going to take 90 days. 90 days is pretty normal. Sometimes some of the states are behind, so it may take 120 days, or if it may take even longer than that. So it may actually take about 120 days, or in some states, and I'm not going to mention what state that is, it can take as long as a year. And that is unfortunately the backup that they're behind. The minority business enterprise is also there. We have some questions that are there, and it will go ahead and describe exactly what is a minority. We talked about that before. You can click here to find out if you qualify. What is considered to be a minority, and how long does it take to get an MB certification. Now, the SBA 8A, a lot of people know about this program. There is a description of what it is and what the requirements are. There's a lot of different things in the SBA 8A that you want to make sure that while you may go ahead and qualify for the basic, there's a lot of other things that are in there that it would be good for you to have a free consultation. Again, here's our comprehensive consultation where you can make an appointment, and we will get to learn more about your business and see if you qualify for these. So what is a WBE certification? And what's the difference between a WBE, Women Business Enterprise, and a WOSB, which is a federal certification through the Small Business Administration? Next, how long does it take to get it? And then some general questions about BizCentral USA. We've been around since 2004. We've helped over 40,000 businesses grow their business. And another question that we usually get asked is, does BizCentral USA guarantee my certification and my company will be certified? And unfortunately, no. We can't guarantee that because every single certifying agency makes a decision. We are a document preparation service. We're not an accounting firm, even though I'm a CPA. We're not an accounting firm. We're not a law firm. We cannot guarantee your success in all of this. And so, but we can help you get through all the paperwork based on our experience. So we're going to take a quick break right now, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to go over some of the questions that people have asked, and we are going to cover those shortly. So it's going to be real quick, and we will start the clock. It's only going to be a few minutes, and we will be right back. Okay, we are back. And so we have some questions that are being asked. One of the questions they were asked is is it worth it? And I think that really the only, you're going to have to make that decision of whether it is worth it. We can talk about whether you're ready for it. It does require, it's a new thing, so it's going to require a knowledge base of information that is you're going to have to make that determination for your business, and we can help you with that part. And sometimes you aren't ready for it right at this time. So that's going to be a situation where it's going to be dependent on you and your business model and what your goals are going to be. The next question is, I'm currently not organized as a gender, either as a woman-owned business or a minority-owned business, but what if I switch things around? Well, the problem with that is the person that is really, it has to be, the person must be 51% owner. And they have to have been involved with the business. And when the certifying agency looks at all this information, if the person doesn't really managing it, and you're going to be signing affidavits saying that this person is really managing the business, so you can't have a figurehead that just comes in just to get you certified. That is not going to be, that will not work, and that will not help you get certified. The next question is, what if I don't get certified? I do this application process and I don't get certified, and I get denied. How long do I have to wait before I reapply? And so once you are denied, most organizations will give you the opportunity to go through an appeal process. And the denial could be anywhere from or the time to reapply can be anywhere between 2 years, or it could be 6 months. There are some states where if you are denied, you will have to wait 2 years to reapply. And that's tough to be able to do that. Generally, it is going to be about your documentation, or just like we talked about in the last question, is the majority owner, whether by gender or the socially disadvantaged status, are they really actually running the business? So that's going to be really important. And I think that what is important to remember is that getting it done the first time is so important. The next question is how long, and we talked about this before, but how long does it take for somebody to get certified? And it usually takes 90 days. That's what most of the certifications are going to tell you. However, some certifications in some states are very behind, and because of the infrastructure bill, the 1.2 trillion, there isn't a lot of people to help get these applications through, and so they've had a bunch of applications come through. Those states where there's only a paper copy certification will take longer because it's paper, and they have to go through each one of the documents. And while some people do use a service, BizCentral USA or some other service, in order to assist them with the application, some people believe that they can, just push a bunch of different documents over there, and they think they have everything, but they actually don't. And this kind of clogs up the system because the reviewer has to constantly ask for constantly go to the business and say, hey, you didn't include your minutes. And then the company says, well, what are minutes? And so it kind of delays the process for other organizations that may be much more organized. The next question that we have is, does BizCentral USA, after we get certified, can they help us with bid proposals and other information? And the answer is yes. We do have We can help you get started in bid proposals, finding bid proposals, preparing the bid proposals, and finding work. Again, we have a great YouTube channel that is going to be able to offer you a lot of information that you normally wouldn't be able to find out about. There's federal government set-aside contracts. We have a compliance class for government contractors. We have a lot of information. We have testimonials that are on there. And so I would recommend that you go to our different classes that we have and information talking about disaster loans and everything else, and find out more information about our website. Subscribe to our website, because we're always trying to put new information in there so that you can grow your business as a minority-owned business. And the next question is, this is all overwhelming. So where can I start? Where can I start to learn? And what I would do is I would actually go to SBA. SBA, Small Business Contracting. The SBA, Small Business Administration, has a lot of great information when it comes to federal contracting. Federal contracting takes a while. It's not going to be a immediate entry into the federal contracting world. It is going to take time. If you are new to federal government contracting, or you are just interested in trying to determine whether you should go in there, then it's all going to be about learning how to get more information to see if it's a good fit. It might not be a good fit for you, because some of the things that are in the federal government just won't be a good fit for you. And you can do that by, again, going to sam.gov and go to that website and look at contract opportunities. Is there something in, let's look at barbecue. Probably about 3 weeks ago, there was and you can see it right here, there's a solicitation for barbecue sauce. This is in May 9th, and for a prison system. So who knew, right? Who knew that if you had a barbecue sauce, you could sell it to the federal government? So it's, you have to determine if federal contracting is going to be for you, and are you going to be able to put the time into it, or should you outsource some of this information to a company like BizCentral? Getting a certification is a fantastic way to grow your business, and we at BizCentral really want to help you do that. But there's so much to learn and so much to absorb. And when we work with you to get your application done and your certification done, we're going to have a relationship that's going to last that 90 days. We're going to help you prepare all of those paperwork and get you organized. Your business will be organized. That's what we are helping you with. And then we're going to help you answer those questions. And then when you get that interview, we're going to help you through that too. We're going to help you understand that certification process. And then once you get certified, that you will be able to go ahead and find out more about whether you want to go with government contracting, or whether you want to go with other types of information. You want to go with other types of, you don't want to get a certification. So we're here to go ahead and help you through this process. And we hope that this live class was beneficial for you, and that you will give us a call if you have any more information that you would like to learn. And we have a free consultation. Come on down and join us. We have a newsletter that you can find out more as well. We are grateful that you stopped by with us, and hopefully We will talk to you soon, and we appreciate you spending this time to learn a little bit more about business certifications. Have a great rest of your day.